guys. Thought it's a good place as any to stop to make my little rant. As you can see, I'm cutting alfalfa. And the thing, like, since I'm not running a GPS unit right now, and I'm merging it, here is one of the issues I have with this machine. See this? That is right in the way. Because what you have to do if you're not running GPS, you have to watch the corner of your cutter deck, because you'll see that windrow is just right up against it. And if you can't see it just right and you get too far over, then you'll do that. There. I mean, you can catch like an inch of it and it'll start pushing up. And I did a couple of those. Big clumps like that. So, and like I've always, like, since I got this monitor, I think it's right in the way. It's just a pain where it's at. I think it's the dumbest place. I mean, I really do not like where that thing sits. In all honesty, that monitor should be sitting like right here, just out of the damn way, not right here. There's a cell phone down here. I got to take this. system. And this thing has all its radiators stacked to the outside, so it cools super well, as long as you keep your radiators clean. Got the DWA, and I think this is a 9195 header. It is the razor bar header. It's the single conditioners, not the double. I'll kind of go over this with you. I'm very new to operating this machine, and I would like you to see some of what I'm seeing. This you can see I'm leaving a dead space in here. That's perfectly fine for chopping, because I mean you're running like a 12-foot header on a chopper. Baling, that would be a problem, but I'm gonna rake this stuff anyway. So what I did is I never had this issue before till now. And it's honestly just the horsepower and merger setup and everything on that 9635. I never had a problem with it throwing feed all the way over into the standing feed. But this thing, and probably a lot of it's the volume of the feed, but on this swather, like, it was throwing it under the little flapper gate, and I had it at a really high rate, and so it was throwing it into the standing feed, and that's where I was running into the big balls of stuff. So what I did is I actually just slowed my belt down, and that's why you see this dead space in here. I slowed it down so it wasn't throwing it into the other feed. Now, since I'm not running GPS, I was leaving just a hair bit of stuff on a few of these because it's really hard for me right now to run the machine for a couple reasons. Number one, where the cab monitor sits is right where I'm used to looking, at the corner of my header, and that way I know where to, where I'm driving. And so I get a little far over, or not far enough over, because I'm having to look around that thing. But that's honestly not a big deal. The biggest problem for me right now is the steering in this machine. I've had two other modern windrowers, and I've got the older windrower that I still have, but they're all mechanically steered. So the steering wheel actually goes to like a hydraulic bank that it mechanically turns on and off the valves. This machine, since this machine is built for GPS, it's all electronically open servos. So, like, I steer this, but this isn't actually going to a hydraulic valve. This is, there's electric sensors that sense me turning, and then they open and close the valve. So you can adjust the steering on this thing, and I turned it down to the lowest setting, and I don't know, maybe that was the wrong thing to do. Maybe I should have turned it up, get it a little more sensitive. But honestly, it's getting used to it, because I actually only cut it 10 miles an hour because it was too squirrely for me. am going to have to, I don't know, maybe... I'm going to get GPS on it, but I really don't want to. And I'll tell you why. It really upsets me that AGCO charges for this machine, brand new, $184,000. That's what this machine would cost me, brand new, the way it's set up. And then you still have to pay for GPS, like $1,000 a year. That is a load of shit. I mean, come on. You want me to give you that much for a new machine and then you're going to charge me for GPS? Even for what I have to pay for this machine, that's way too much. It should just be part of it. And I realize I'm doing center pivot, so that takes more precise GPS, but that's ridiculous. I've got to go up. I'm going to have to go up on my rates at least $1 an acre just to cover the DEF fluid and the GPS cost, which is just ridiculous. So yeah, it's I honestly really like the machine. I gotta get used to it, and I'm gonna get GPS for it, just because I can cut faster. You know, it took me a while to get used. Like when I went from that old sickle machine to my John Deere swather, and mind you, the top cutting speed on the John Deere 4995 is 8 miles an hour. When I went from that old machine to that Deere, and it only cuts at 8 miles an hour, I could barely sit in the seat. I mean, that was so fast it wasn't even funny. I mean, I could hardly even control that. But I got used to it, and then I went to the 9635, and top cutting speed on that was, boy, that was 12 miles an hour. That is ridiculous. And top speed in first gear on this is 13 something, and it's got a second gear. So there's no telling how fast this thing will cut. And I'm gonna have to get used to it, but I'm also probably gonna have to get GPS, because it just, man, it's fast. And I'm not, you know, I'm not great at it. Come on, are you gonna turn? Yeah, you're just being silly. Oh, we're gonna get a little wiggly. Hopefully I'm not. So far this machine's been pretty good. I'm happy with it. If you want to know how good of a machine it's going to be, and if I'm truly happy with it, ask me in 5 years when it's paid for. Then I'll be able to give you the best review ever, whether it's a good machine or not. But I imagine it's going to be a good machine. Hopefully it's a little more reliable than my other one. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on at the moment. Just finished. I might get one more cutting of alfalfa. It'll be a half cutting. It won't be a full cutting. So I am pretty much done with cutting hay. So I just spent all this money for this big swather. Now it's going to sit for the winter. But that's how it goes. I've got one hydraulic line to fix on it. But other than that, I'll get it in the shop, and it may be a while, but I'll do a review on it. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, we'll go from there. And I'm still gonna do a review on the 9635 and the Deere 4995. So you guys kind of have a comparison of those two. And then I'll probably do a comparison between this machine and the 9635, because they're only 5 years apart. So yeah, other than that, that's kind of done with this right now. Got my little baggie. in my tripod.